Everywhere, GBS.
A very good evening and thank you for joining GBS News at 9. My name is Paul Madhenge and our sign language interpreter tonight is Alan Kiama. Now, starting to our first story, at State House, Nairobi, President William Ruto has officially welcomed 9 new envoys who will serve in Kenya. The ambassadors pledged to deepen cooperation with Kenya across trade, security, climate action and development, as the president reaffirmed his government's commitment to advancing mutual interest.
Mr. Tyas Wichason Haji, Ambassador Designate of the Republic of Indonesia. Ms. Rina Rika, Ambassador Designate of the Republic of Finland. Mr. Jermaine Alexandro, Ambassador Designate of the Kingdom of Spain. Mr. Maroš Mitrik, Ambassador Designate, Slovak Republic. Mr. Leon Yanduma, Ambassador Designate of the Republic of Congo.
Tukufu Rais, it's a great honor and privilege for me to present my credentials as Ambassador of the Republic of Belarus to the Republic of Kenya.
Mr. Haken Hekesson, Ambassador Designate of the Kingdom of Sweden. Mr. Gideon Beha, Ambassador Designate of the State of Israel.
President William Ruto has received and accepted the credential of 9 new envoys at State House, Nairobi. The ambassadors from countries including Indonesia, Spain, Finland, Slovakia, Canada, Belarus, Congo, Sweden, and Israel pledged to strengthen ties with Kenya for the mutual benefit of their people. President Ruto assured them of his government's commitment to advancing cooperation in areas of shared interest. Among those accredited was Ambassador Abji of Indonesia, who brings more than 30 years of experience and will also serve as permanent representative of UNEP and UN Habitat in Nairobi. He pledged to deepen ties in areas such as the blue economy, mining, and defense.
Mr. President, Jumbo, our two nations, connected by the Indian Ocean, share a history of struggle for independence and a common aspiration for peace and prosperity. As diverse democracies, we are both committed to pluralism, inclusivity, and mutual respect. These shared values provide a strong foundation for our bilateral relations. Asante sana, Mungu ibariki Kenya, Mungu ibariki Indonesia.
Ambassador Alejandro of Spain and Ambassador Heika of Finland both emphasized their determination to build on already strong relations with Kenya, while Ambassador Mitrik of Slovakia and Ambassador Taba of Canada highlighted partnership in development and the private sector.
With the presentation of my credentials, I wish to express Spain's willingness to deepen cooperation and dialogue with Kenya in areas such as political consultations, trade exchanges, investment, or cultural links.
Our partnership builds on many levels and layers, bilateral and multilateral, the European Union, regional, and global. All these levels are needed when we look ahead and when we look for solutions during these globally changing times.
The Slovak Republic and Kenya have long-standing friendly relations based on mutual respect and cooperation. I am confident that during my tenure, we will be able to deepen and expand those relations in areas such as trade, innovation, and security, while also fostering people-to-people contacts.
The ambassador of Belarus, Congo, Sweden, and of Israel also reaffirmed commitments in trade, investment, security, and climate action.
As ambassador, I am committed to strengthening the partnership between Belarus and Kenya across all areas, including trade, investment, education, and cultural exchange.
Together, the envoys say they look forward to strengthening cooperation with Kenya across multiple fields, from economic growth to environmental protection. Susan Nganga, GBS News, Nairobi.
Friendship. And also...
Now to our next story. The judiciary, in collaboration with the prisons and correctional services, is undertaking nationwide prison decongestion exercise. This initiative aims to ensure that the criminal justice system upholds the principles of justice, humanity, and rehabilitation. Speaking during the inauguration visit to Garissa GK prison, where 18 prisoners were released to continue their sentences through community service, Chief Justice Martha Koome noted that the criminal justice system has undergone significant transformation over the years. She highlighted the shift from the punitive model of incarceration to a more progressive approach focused on rehabilitation, reintegration, and restoring dignity.
The President of the Judiciary, Madam Martha Koome, today paid a visit to Garissa prisons, where she explained that the decongestion initiative of prisons aims to achieve a sustainable prison population aligned with the capacity of correctional facilities. One of the key strategies in the decongestion efforts is the promotion and expansion of community services orders.
So the Garissa Justice Survey that was done revealed that more than half of the residents of Garissa reported having been in disputes with land conflicts, accounting for nearly 40% of the cases, intercommunal conflicts, family disputes, and petty offenses, which also featured prominently.
Justice Koome reiterated that prison offenders with prison sentences of less than 3 months should not be subjected to imprisonment. Instead, they should be diverted to community services or other alternative sentencing options that allows them to make positive contributions to the society. With Justice John Onyego, the presiding judge in Garissa, lauding her statement, setting on the importance of cooperation between the court and the prisons and highlighting the role technology has played in expediting justice.
The main and predominant conflicts in our region that AJS will help to solve or resolve include pasture and grazing land conflicts among pastoralist communities, disputes over water points and resources, trade conflicts in markets and cross-border commerce, as well as interclan rivalries, boundary disputes, family and inheritance matters, and minor commercial disagreements, all of which can be addressed through culturally attuned mediation to promote lasting peace.
Speaking during the same event, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Winfrida Mokaya, said that the judiciary has invested in reforms to ease congestion through bail and bond policy guidelines under the NCAJ.
It is very expensive to seek justice in this region because of the distances that are involved, the time it takes to resolve some of these disputes. It actually creates a lot of anxiety and more conflicts within the society. So with this, I think it is a very simple system, and this is what these people believe in mainly. It is anchored in our customs and traditions. It's anchored in our religion, the way of sorting out dispute issues.
And this noble idea, as was said rightly, at some point needs to be taken also to the farthest corner of this county.
Davis Karani, GBS News, Garissa County.
And now from the Ministry of Education, the government is assuring a smooth transition for students joining higher learning institutions, with Education Cabinet Secretary Migosi Ogamba confirming that university fees have been reduced and resources allocated. Speaking in Narok, Ogamba said no eligible student will be left behind due to financial constraints, and urged those yet to apply for loans and scholarships to do so before the September 14th deadline. Ibrahim Said has more.
The government says the transition to higher education institution is fully supported. Education Cabinet Secretary Migosi Ogamba says university fees have been reduced up to 40% and that no eligible student will be denied access due to financial constraint.
We have indicated as well in the higher education space, you know that we reduced the school fees from the school fees of programs in the universities by between 15% and 40%. We also did an individual assessment of the capacity of the students undertaking these programs so that we are able to determine what each particular student is capable of paying.
He spoke during a visit to Masai Mara Technical and Vocation Training College in Narok, where he emphasized that household contributions will be based on individual assessment. Ogamba urges those who missed deadline to apply for government loans and scholarship before September 14th.
By yesterday 7 o'clock, we had admitted a total of 144,000 students out of the 183,000 that had applied and that had been placed. And these ones have been admitted in 39 universities out of the 43. We have still a few universities that have not opened, that will be opening within the next 2 weeks. And therefore, we are ready for all the students. We've indicated for those who do not have or have not applied to help, we've extended the period of application to 14th of this month, and you're encouraged to apply for help and scholarships where you think you need.
On technical training, he said the government is working to expand TVET enrollment, citing strong employment rate among graduates and the need for demand-driven skills. The CS said pending fund will be released once data verification is complete. He noted that the ministry is cleaning up inflated figures to ensure resource-rich, genuine institution and deserving student as part of a broader reform in the education sector. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Ibrahim Said.
And now, Absa Bank unveiled the initiative to reward customers who swiped or shopped online with credit cards and Absa debit, automatically entering them into draws for weekly prizes of 100,000 Kenya shillings and monthly prizes of 1 million Kenya shillings. Absa's head of cards payments, Lida Kimani, explained that the campaign aligned with the bank's digital-first strategy to create convenient and secure payment options while giving back to customers. Now, have a listen.
The bank unveiled the initiative to reward customers who swiped or shopped online with credit cards and Absa debit, automatically entering them into draws for weekly prizes of 100,000 Kenyan shillings and monthly prizes of 1 million Kenyan shillings. Absa's head of cards payments, Linda Kimani, explained that the campaign aligned with the bank's digital-first strategy to create convenient and secure payments option while giving back to customers.
We are proud to announce to you our campaign, Play Your Cards Right campaign. You stand a chance to be a millionaire in the next 3 months. Our campaign runs from 1st of September to 30th of November. We will have 3 millionaires from this campaign. We'll have 1 millionaire per month. How do you qualify for the campaign and for the win? If you swipe your Absa credit, debit, or prepaid card, you stand a chance to win this campaign.
In the recent years, Absa Bank invested heavily in digital payments innovation, introducing solutions designed to enhance speed, reliability, and security. The campaign also reflected the bank's focus on financial inclusion, encouraging customers to transact efficiently and trust digital channels.
You can get your card when you open an account with us and ensure that you swipe your card at any supermarket, any merchant that you see, any petrol station, and you get value for your money. We also will have weekly draws. Every week, the winners will win 100,000 shillings per week. So you have a chance to be a millionaire, to change your life when you join Absa Bank.
Absa Bank plans to expand card-based incentives and will continue rolling out customer-centered digital solutions, reinforcing its commitment to innovation and convenience. Moilin Rono for GBS News.
And now, the fight against gender-based violence has once again taken center stage, with President William Ruto's advisor on women's rights, Harriet Chigai, urging the private sector to step up and partner in creating safer homes and workplaces for women. Speaking at a high-level leaders' breakfast meeting in Nairobi, Chigai emphasized the need for concerted efforts to combat GBV, while National Security Advisor Ambassador Monica Juma painted the grim picture of rising cases, calling for stronger protection measures and more female officers on the front line. A high-level leaders' breakfast meeting in Nairobi has renewed calls for stronger action against gender-based violence. President Ruto's advisor on women's rights, Harriet Chigai, urged the private sector to partner in creating safe homes and workplaces, saying GBV continues to hold back women from realizing their full potential.
And the question then is, what is our task ahead? What have we achieved so far? Our task is to build systems that safeguard women's rights and deliver results on scale. Since 2022, we have moved from making promises to driving tangible impact through interventions across the country. We have touched widows, and the reason as to why we picked widows and orphans in our office as a CSR component, it's because no one was doing it. So through interventions across counties, we have touched widows and orphans, survivors of GBV, and communities. Our mission is larger than empower 5 million women socioeconomically, and that is our target. Rise women's representation in leadership by 40%, eliminate violence against women and children, and ensure gender data drives planning and budgeting at every level.
National Security Advisor Monica Juma painted a grim picture, noting that during the COVID-19 period, over 300,000 women were under serious threat in their own homes. She is calling for the recruitment of more female officers to strengthen protection efforts.
The question of gender-based violence, we know this is not just about the person that is being inflicted. It weakens families, it scars generations. And now we are having a situation where the family unit is under serious affliction. Yes? I was just looking at the statistics in terms of women-headed households, in terms of the level of violence against the girl and the woman, and even the boy child today. So what do we do in terms of just looking at this space of relations, of safe space? You know, one of the most striking things during COVID was when by September 2020, it became apparent that more than 300,000 girl children had fallen pregnant in the home space, supposedly the secure space. And that was part of the reason why we opened our schools quite early, because we figured out that the girls were safer at school than at home.
Financial institutions also pledged to support women with financial literacy and access to credit, enabling them to grow their business and gain independence. Leaders at the forum agreed that tackling GBV requires joint action from government, the private sector, and communities to build a bold and inclusive future for women. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul M. Minor. And now moving on. The consignment containing 10,000 pieces per carton of contraband cigarette valued at millions of shillings was confiscated during a raid conducted by security officers. The suspect was arrested and detained at Kirugoya police station ahead of a scheduled court appearance on Wednesday, September 3rd. Authorities also recovered banned polythene bags believed to have been embarked for local markets distribution. Let's have a look.
The consignment, containing 10,000 pieces per carton and valued at millions of shillings, was confiscated during a raid conducted by security officers. The suspect was arrested and detained at Kirugoya police station ahead of a scheduled court appearance on Wednesday, September 3rd. Authorities also recovered banned polythene bags believed to have been unmarked for local market distribution.
So huyu mwenye hii sigara sasa ameficha sigara hizi hapa ambazo zingekuwa zinaenda ngambo, supposed to be for export. Unaona zimeandikwa for export. Sasa mtu ameona yeye ahepe ushuru aweze kuja kuficha hizi sigara hapa auze kienyeji. Na hiyo ni njia moja ambazo serikali inaweza kuwa inapoteza naye pesa.
Kirinyaga County Commissioner Hussein also commended residents for their cooperation, stressing that community participation played a crucial role in the successful operation. He emphasized that the government had mounted several crackdowns to curb down contraband activities and protected public interest.
So tunawaonya kwa mtu yote yule ambaye anaweza fikiria, anaweza leta vitu bidhaa za magendo na pengine aone kama hatapatikana, ajue ya kwamba siku za mwizi ni ngapi? Siku hizi hata si 40 imepungua, tangu teknolojia imekuja imepungua, imekuwa 10. Kwa hivyo wewe ukijua wewe utaleta vitu vya magendo, iwe ni pombe, iwe ni sigara, iwe ni vitu vingine vya bangi, ujue ya kwamba siku zako zimefanya nini? Zinahesabika. Hata ni chache na utanaswa hivyo karibuni. Kwa hivyo yangu ni kuomba tu tushirikiane na maafisa wa polisi, tuendelee kuweza kutoa habari.
Officials have pledged to intensify security operations, warning that individuals engaged in illegal trade will face swift legal action as part of efforts to safeguard country's revenue. Molin Rono for GBS News.
It is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 21144. We will be right back.
Cameroon.
My name is Aurelia Chama. I'm 8 years old. I'm a grade 4 student at Waridi Utawala School. When I grow up, I'd like to be a supermodel, a doctor, a dermatologist, so that I can advise little children to deal better with their skin problems.
When was the first time ulianza sasa when was the first time you got your first title? Do you prefer painting, drawing, or playing outside?
Drawing.
Drawing. Oh, you also like to draw?
Dear future Aurelie, I'm advising you that to do better on your exams, to care for people, to care about yourself, and do good things. And if you have an opportunity, do it. Any opportunity, even if it's from modeling, dancing, singing, anything.
For today's topic, we are going to be talking about tranquility in diversity, celebrating Africa through youth expressions.
Have to understand that our parents are from a different generation from ours.
For sure.
And so there are things that they might not understand. So what the girl should do, just like Amelie amesema, just make sure musema kichwangumu polite. I don't know if there is a word, kichwangumu polite.
When I started modeling, my mom was against it. Kabisa, like she never wanted to hear anything about modeling. She used to tell me, you're supposed to concentrate in school. So every time I used to go for a modeling event, my mom would call me and quarrel me. So most of the times I used to hide. I used to go to events secretly. So when Miss Tranquility happened, they posted the event. It was online. And I think she saw on television, Amelis Nyongesa crowned Miss Tranquility
That is
Kenya.
my daughter. That is my daughter.
Yeah. So my mom called me and told me, why didn't you tell me you're going for the event? I told her, how could I even open up and tell you I'm going for the event, because she was so against it.
Africans, we are great. We do a lot of things, but we are not credited.
As a model, like you can't crown a beauty queen without brains. Like they say, beauty with brains.
As a model, you shouldn't be losing your heritage just because of what you watch on YouTube or what you see on TikTok or on Instagram. Keep once a model, okay, mi usema once an artist, hii kitu ita sound fiti na Kiswahili. Manze once a msanii, always a msanii.
I think there's a lot we don't know out here about this industry, but that's why we're here anyway.
Yeah.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin, and now shifting our focus to international news. Cameroon's election spotlight is heating up as UN officials today urge the government to guarantee free and transparent polls. Speaking from Geneva, UN human rights officials cited growing restrictions on opposition parties, banned political gatherings, and irregularities in voter registration. The warning comes just weeks after President Paul Biya, now 92, confirmed he will run for the 8th term. Ibrahim Said with the details.
Cameroon's upcoming presidential election is drawing international scrutiny, with the United Nations office calling on government to ensure a free and transparent process. During a press briefing in Geneva, the UN Human Rights Office raised concern over increased restriction on opposition parties, including banned rallies, blocked candidates, and irregularities in voter registration. The warning comes as President Paul Biya, now 92 years old, confirmed he will seek an 8th term in office. Biya has ruled Cameroon since 1982, making him one of Africa's longest-serving leaders.
Ahead of the presidential election in October, growing restrictions on civic and democratic space in Cameroon are raising fears about whether voters can freely express their will.
His tenure has been marked by allegations of corruption, violent separatism, unrest in English-speaking region, spillover attack from Boko Haram militant near Nigerian border. With the election approaching, the UN is urging authorities to uphold democratic principles and protect political space.
We are today calling on the government of Cameroon to ensure an environment conducive to a free, transparent, inclusive and genuine vote.
Right groups warn that further crackdown could undermine public trust and deepen tension in an already fragile political landscape. If re-elected, Biya will remain in power until the age of 99. GBS News.
And now moving on, for more than a decade, the UN Peace Building Fund has supported complementary efforts including conflict resolution, sustainable agriculture, and access to healthcare. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres had the opportunity to witness this work firsthand around the country, where the United Nations will be supporting Guinea fully. UN has promised the work extensively with young people who make up to fully 60% of Papua New Guinea population and are one of the nation's greatest assets. Let's have a look.
Express our country's profound appreciation on the Secretary General of the United Nations, His Excellency Antonio Guterres. Profound honor and privilege for Papua New Guinea to receive him at our most important month.
First of all, our country team is working hard
We have no UN agenda for Papua New Guinea. Our agenda is to support the government in its strategies and policies, and all our agencies are doing their best to fully support the government. But on top of that, we remain with our strong advocacy for the reform of international financial institutions. It is absolutely essential that developing countries have a stronger participation, and that participation being translated into more resources to the developing countries that need them to overcome the enormous challenges of development. If you have heard me, I mentioned that we need to have effective debt relief. We need to multiply, as it was proposed in the meeting recently took place in Sevilla, multiply by 3 the volume of resources multilateral development banks put at the disposal of developing countries. And at the same time, we need to have multilateral development banks being able to leverage much more private finance and private investment in support of developing countries, de-risking them in order to make sure that they see it's worth investing in developing countries. So, on one hand, with our meager resources, but our total commitment, we are here to support the government. On the other hand, we will be making global advocacy for the creation of justice and less inequality in the international financial system to the benefit of countries like Papua New Guinea.
And now, China is marking the 80th anniversary of victory in the Second World War with a grand military parade in Beijing. The elaborate ceremony held at Tiananmen Square showcased the country's military might and honored millions who sacrificed their lives during the war. Here are the details.
China today marked the 80th anniversary of its victory in the Second World War with a grand military parade in Beijing. President Xi Jinping led world leaders, foreign dignitaries, and thousands of citizens in commemorating the historic victory over fascism. The parade featured thousands of troops, advanced weaponry, and aerial displays, symbolizing China's transformation from a war-torn nation into a global power.
Only when all countries and nations treat each other as equals, coexist in peace, and support each other, can we uphold common security, eradicate the root cause of war, and prevent the reoccurrence of historical tragedies.
Xi emphasized that China's development is rooted in peace and unity, pledging to safeguard national sovereignty and promote global stability. Veterans and survivors were also celebrated, with tributes underscoring China's role in defeating Japanese aggression.
The Chinese people are a people that are not afraid of violence and are self-reliant and strong. Today, humanity once again faces a choice between peace and war, dialogue and confrontation, mutual benefit and zero-sum outcomes. The Chinese people firmly stand on the right side of history and on the side of the progress of human civilization. We will adhere to the path of peaceful development and work hand in hand with people of all countries to build a community with a shared future for mankind.
This year's commemoration comes amid rising regional tensions and renewed focus on China's military modernization efforts. Analysts say the display served both as a tribute to history and a statement of strength on the world stage. Molin Rono for GBS News.
Moving on, preliminary reports from de facto authorities in Afghanistan indicated that at least 1,400 people have been killed and more than 3,100 injured. This was announced by a UN spokesperson, Stephen Dujarric, in UN headquarters in New York. Let's have a look.
At the United Nations, officials say the death toll from Sunday's powerful earthquake in Afghanistan continues to rise, with thousands killed and injured. The UN says preliminary reports from de facto authorities in Afghanistan indicate at least 1,400 dead and more than 3,100 injured after a massive earthquake struck Nangarhar province.
On the ground, our humanitarian colleagues tell us that preliminary reports from the de facto authorities now indicate at least 1,400 people have been killed and more than 3,100 injured. Casualty figures are expected to rise further as search and rescue teams reach affected areas. We have dispatched at least 25 assessment teams to the region to assess the situation. We're already supporting the response by deploying critical items to areas that can be reached.
UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric told reporters in New York that Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed deep sadness over the tragedy, sending condolences to the victims' families and urging the international community to provide urgent resources, warning that humanitarian funding is far from sufficient.
In a statement which the Secretary General said he is deeply saddened by the devastating loss of life caused by the Sunday's earthquake in the eastern Nangarhar province in Afghanistan. He expressed his solidarity with the people of Afghanistan, extended his sincere condolences to the families and victims, and wished a speedy recovery to those injured. He also said the UN in Afghanistan will spare no efforts to assist people, but noted that current humanitarian funding is insufficient to address the needs. He called for additional resources to be urgently dispatched to respond to the tragedy and crisis at hand.
The United Nations has dispatched 25 assessment teams to the affected area and is already delivering critical supplies. The UN Refugee Agency is deploying tents, blankets, and solar lamps from stockpiles in Kabul, while priority needs include shelter, medical supplies, drinking water, and food assistance.
For example, our colleagues at UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, are deploying pre-positioned essential relief items from stockpiles in Kabul. That includes tents, that also includes blankets and solar lamps. Our humanitarian colleagues note that an immediate priority needs to include emergency shelter, critical medical supplies, drinking water, and emergency food assistance. The de facto authorities have launched an immediate response, flying hundreds of medevac cases to regional hospitals for care and clearing blocked roads.
Authorities in Afghanistan have also begun flying hundreds of the injured to regional hospitals and clearing roads to reach survivors. Emergency Relief Coordinator Tom Fletcher has appealed for international support, with the United Nations preparing an emergency funding appeal.
Humanitarian partners are also seeking ways to mobilize additional air assets to reach those in need. Shelter material and medical supplies are running low, and the current funding is insufficient to address all needs, as we've been saying. Our emergency relief coordinator, Tom Fletcher, called for the international community's support to scale up emergency relief efforts. We and our partners are developing an emergency appeal, and we'll keep you posted.
It's time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 21144. We will be right back.
So today we are diving into a topic that has become rather popular right here in Kenya, the K-pop culture.
I would say K-pop invokes creativity, like mega creativity. I have friends who are creative and you'll see you've done that and they're like, yeah.
An ex told me that K-pop girls, K-pop stan girls, it was like the men you stan look like women and you aim to get a man that looks like that. So if you fail to find a man like that, because obviously you're in Kenya, you're not going to find a pretty man. For me, it's like I have two personalities at this point. I have my normal life and I have my army life. Because when I get into my army life, it's just like a whole new world. A community full of people who don't judge, people who accept you. Learning Korean from a Kenyan can sometimes mess you up because they pronounce words differently, and when you speak to a native, it's like, hold up, what did you say?
I've never met like a K-pop fan. I don't know why. What am I? No, not when people want to like express themselves like, I'm a K-pop fan. Unless you see them like wearing like a branded t-shirt or a branded hoodie, you realize that they're K-pop fan.
The main campaign of BTS is loving yourself, right? And K-pop has a lot of drawbacks. Just like anything else, too much of something is poisonous, yeah? And one of the drawbacks is it comes with beauty because they have these absurd beauty standards. While BTS passed this message that you're supposed to love yourself, embrace yourself, you're just perfect the way you are. You don't have to eat less to be beautiful. You're beautiful from the inside, right? Get into BTS, it's hard to come out.
Okay.
Are you in marriage? Are you married? Is your marriage unhappy? What are the things that you're going through and you really, really want them being answered?
I'm a relationship coach and a marriage counselor, and I'm so passionate about helping people, individuals and couples.
When you're having these people, these different people and personality, and maybe they are a couple, of whereby if you don't solve now, don't come to ask me later. And I'm in the school of thought of, we cannot talk about it now. I have to cool down and then you can discuss. Sit later. How do you strike a balance and be able to communicate peacefully and resolve our issue by the end of the day?
That's where I drive or I pick the models of marriage from the Bible stories. So that marriage model is about business and security. And even today, people are marrying because of business.
So how am I even marrying for happiness? Are we supposed even to call it for happiness, or is it because of lust and pleasures of the world?
So I'm going to search for a person who has money. I want big vehicle. I want a big house. So what do you call that? It's you're marrying because of business. The Adam's model and the Jacob's model is the best.
What is it exactly are we looking for in the last model?
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, and now more from our international desk. The United Nations is appealing for greater international support to help end the suffering of millions of displaced Syrians. UN Deputy High Commissioner for Refugees Kelly T. Clements has wrapped up a 5-day mission to Lebanon and Syria, where she urged the world to back efforts for peace and stability. Clements met with officials, returning families, and newly arrived refugees. She said thousands of Syrians are choosing to go home, some after more than a decade away, bringing what little they own as they attempt to rebuild their lives. Since the fall of the Assad government, more than 1.2 million Syrians have returned, including nearly 200,000 from Lebanon this year alone. The UNHCR has stepped up support with transport, cash assistance, and relief supplies to make returns safe and sustainable. Clements stressed that both Syria and host countries like Lebanon still need urgent aid, warning that families cannot rebuild without sustained international commitment.
Now, and this is exactly when we need to have a lot of support from the international community, every community here in Syria, needs everything, the very basics. The families are coming, as you can see with the trucks behind me, they're coming with their household effects that they have accumulated over 14 years. Everything from chairs to rugs to blankets. And this, they're moving their life, they're taking a chance, and they're trying to rebuild. And family after family tells me they're coming back because this is home. And we want to be able to be there with our partners to support Syria rebuild for a peaceful and more prosperous region.
More on international desk. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un met in Beijing after joining Chinese President Xi Jinping at a massive military parade marking 80 years since the end of World War II. The parade showcased China's military strength, while the subsequent talks highlighted a deepening allies. Putin praised North Korean troops fighting alongside Russian forces in Ukraine, with Pyongyang reportedly sending thousands of soldiers and weapons. Kim pledged even greater support under their 2024 strategic partnership. The meeting, hosted by China, underscored a united front among Beijing, Moscow, and Pyongyang as Western nations stayed away. Now let's get the sports news. And now, all eyes will be on the Harambee Stars this Friday as they gear up to face Gambia in a crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier right here on home soil. With qualification hopes still alive, Kenya will be looking to capitalize on home advantage and secure a vital 3 points. Fans across the country are bracing for a thrilling showdown, and the pressure is on. Let's get more from our reporter Omara Bryan.
Harambee Stars are back in action this Friday as they take on Gambia in a crucial World Cup qualifier at Kasarani. With the race to 2026 heating up, Kenya will be pushing for all 3 points in front of their home ground. Head coach Benny McCarthy has named a strong squad and expectations are high. Gambia, however, possess a serious threat and won't go down easy without a fight. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. and fans are urged to turn up in numbers since it's a must-win match for Stars and they are ready to shine. Brian Omala reporting for GBS TV, Nairobi.
More on sports. President William Ruto on 3rd September today hosted a high-level breakfast meeting at State House, Nairobi, bringing together senior government officials, the Football Kenya Federation, FKF, and key players from private sector. The meeting focused on strengthening partnerships to support the growth of football in Kenya, with President Ruto reaffirming his administration commitment to using sports as a tool for youth empowerment and economic development. FKF officials welcomed the initiative, while private sector representatives expressed readiness to invest in football infrastructure talent development, and grassroots programs. Let's have a look.
President William Ruto hosted a breakfast meeting on September 3rd at State House, Nairobi.
In the past, the mistake we tried to do is to make it government, or sometimes make it FKF. Then everybody else becomes an appendage, you know? But this time around, we want to have it differently. We want to do it together. And that is why I am going to finally make a request, going to make a request on the next steps. What do we do in the next steps? Just to confirm to you that from the government of Kenya side, we are committed. We want to do this. We have a plan, but we want that plan to be not our plan as government, but to be our collective plan. We are doing the things that we can do as government. We are working on the infrastructure. We have a rollout plan on stadia. We have a rollout plan on sports academies, smaller stadia. And we have the rest of the things that we can do within the space that we understand.
The forum brought together government officials, FKF leadership, and private sector players.
In Kenyan football, about the aspiration that the Harambee Stars has carried after these CHAN competitions for millions of youth across the country. Today, we start a journey towards ensuring that we have a successful campaign during the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, which is way, way bigger than the competitions we've just hosted. Your Excellency, through your support, through your collaboration with your office and the ministry, we have made great strides in reforming the Federation, in ensuring that we've brought credibility back into this institution that was once on its deathbed. The most recent visit from the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, the president of CAF, Patrice Motsepe, together with all the members of their secretariat, is a testament to the gains and to the strides we've made.
The focus was on building strong partnerships to grow football in Kenya. President Ruto pledged full government support for sports development.
Just to confirm to you that from the government of Kenya side, we are committed. We want to do this. We have a plan, but we want that plan to be not our plan as government, but to be our collective plan.
FKF welcomed the move as timely and strategic for the future of the game. Achieng Sylvia reporting for GBS TV, Nairobi.
And with that story, we come to the end of the news bulletin. It's always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again next time, same channel. My name is Paul Mathenge, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kiama. Good night.